I'm Ginger Riddle, and I'm here with Ken Bateman, candidate for school board in Leavenworth, Kansas. Ken, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Why are you running for school board? And what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I have looked at the performance of our students at the school board. We have a accountability report that the state man has to put out all the time,
Mhm.
every year, and the results are not inspiring. And so I have a background in business, some in education, as being an adjunct for several universities, and I think you need really smart people who are willing to hold other people accountable uh, at the school board, so that we can get the results that we want as a community.
Mhm. So, what is your vision for the future of our schools, and how would you help the district adapt to changing community needs and
Sure,
growth?
I think the what I think people from today uh, want from their school is a little bit different than when I was growing up in the late 80s, where basically everything was just trying to get people into college. A lot of people uh, probably should not go to college because there's more money to not go into college. And that's where the labor shortages are in our country today. Uh, Trust me, I've paid plumbers and electricians a lot of money. They're doing quite well. I've, I mean, we employ a lot of people here at the law firm. Um, but we need people who want to do what they want to do. Some people don't want to go to college, and we shouldn't sort of, poo-poo that idea, for lack of a better phrase. But our curriculum needs to be focused based on what people want to do and what the community needs, um, going forward.
Okay. Well, on that topic, what criteria and processes should be used to make decisions about curriculum and about supporting materials?
I think, you want to, I kind of want to say feedback from industry, like where labor shortages are. You really don't. But also, I mean, people get to vote, right? The kids get to vote what they want to do when they grow up. My oldest son graduated from Leavenworth High. He was a carpenter for a while, joined the Air Force, got to be a computer programmer. My youngest son is a junior in Leavenworth High. Right now, he thinks he wants to be a baker, run a restaurant. Uh, those two curriculums are widely different, but if you look at their curriculums um, today, uh, they're basically the same, right? He does have some, my son who wants to be a baker and run a restaurant. I've tried to talk him out of it several times, but you know, teenagers are not the most receptive bunches to ideas they get. I mean, he has some options that he's taken at the school, uh, and I'm not saying that we should, let every 16-year-old decide everything they want to do. They should have a core basic understanding of, how things like finance works. Like if you can graduate high school and not know how to register a checkbook, that's a failure on the school district, right? Those are the functional tasks you need to be fluent in to be a successful member of society. Um, you need to know how the government works, or should work, um, at whatever point in time we find ourselves at. Um, and just sort of get those baseline um, core curriculum that people should have. Not everybody has to be a genius mathematician or learn to calculus, or uh, but there is some. I mean, you got to be able to do algebra and geometry. These are these are core requirements. Um, I don't know if I answered your question or not, but
Okay.
that's what I got. Okay.
How should the district address the needs of students from diverse backgrounds, including those with disabilities or from low-income families?
There's only one acceptable way to, um, exactly how did you phrase it?
How should the district address the needs of students from diverse backgrounds?
Yeah, there's only one way to address it, and that's to embrace them, welcome them, and help. them succeed. The end.
Okay.
Nothing else is acceptable.
Okay. How will you engage with students, parents, teachers, and community members to inform your decisions?
I'm talking to people. Um, people know what they want. People know what right looks like. You ask people what we think. What do you want in your education for your child? You know, it's a very weird thing because these school districts are the customer is not the parent. The customer is not the school. The customer is society as a whole. So you reach out to people and say, what do you want? You sort of get an amalgamation uh, that informs, what one person wants versus what another person wants. It's it's not about what each person wants. It's about the collective and what informs society more better.
Okay. What do you see as the top three challenges facing the school district, and how would you address those?
Um, I actually pulled down this report, the accountability report from US 453. Um, we're underperforming. They have this thing called academically prepared for post-secondary success. We're underperforming below the state average in every single category. Our graduation rate is 8.9% worse than the state average. Attendance rate is 5.5% worse. Chronic absenteeism is 19.8%. I'm sorry, 42.5% versus the state's 19.8. So our chronic absenteeism is double the state average. Okay. Um, and we spend more money than the average school. And that's not necessarily um, the right metric. A lot of people say, well, this place does better and um, you know, um, they spend less per student. Why can't we be like that? We spend more. Well, we have to look at that's not how math works in this sort of thing, right? There's overhead costs and stuff like that. But there's no reason to have chronic absenteeism being twice the state average. And how you address it, you start holding people accountable. You go to the professional staff that works for the board, and you say, "This is the thing I want you to fix. What is your plan? I'll see you in a week with your plan." Okay.
Okay. Um, do you
I don't suffer from low expectations.
have,
Okay.
I see that. What are there any other experience? You touched on this a little bit, I think, in the beginning, but what experiences or qualifications make you well suited to serve on the school board?
Well, I can give you a little bit of background. I graduated high school and then joined the Army and then found my way into West Point and then was in the Army. I managed to pick up an MBA, decided actually to get out of the Army after my 5 years, and my wife stayed in the Army to retire as a lieutenant colonel. I got to stay home and be a stay-at-home dad and raise my kid and see every phase of happiness and sometimes less than happiness that comes with raising kids. So I'm a very patient person, probably a little more patient than the average person. I love to see kids develop. I love to see kids learn. I've from that I went and got a PhD in business management. So I've used that to sort of fill the sparingly small time that I have. I'll do some adjunct professorship. I just finished an adjunct professorship down at a Leavenworth Correctional Facility for some of the prisoners there who were uh, very stoked to learn about accounting 1 and 2, and I was very happy to teach them. I'm very anything we can do to get this community to move forward. Um, I am all about it.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like for our listeners to hear?
Um, no, I'm Ken Bateman, and I'm really focused on creating excellent students that graduate and stay in Leavenworth. I did hear somebody say last night, the number one export from Kansas is its people. When the college graduates, educated people leave. And whether it comes from developing businesses and creating places for people to succeed, we have to have the people who want to be here, want to succeed, and want to stay. And given that easy task, we'll execute that mission violently. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.